Hello everyone, this is the December Guidance Lead Zoom session. Originally we recorded this with video, and after watching it, it's probably just easier to go through everything with you from a screen recording so you don't have to get bored looking at everyone's facial expressions. Just to go back to this slide here, really this is just about updates and next steps as well as specialty programs. So the goals of this session are to show you how to access information and who to contact. You don't have to memorize everything that you see or hear. It's really important just to know where to get more information should you need it. Our priority for December, January, and February is to put the slip aside. We'll come back to those in March once we're done course selection or once all of your students have successfully transitioned to high school. Our deadline for course selection is February 15th for grade 8s. That's whether or not they're in area, out of area, applying for a specialty program or tech emphasis. February 15th is the hard deadline, but we want you to work within the timeline of the secondary schools that you are working with. And it's important that you find out if, for example, they're coming out to your school. Sometimes that happens, and that's ahead of time. Then you will have everything done when they get there. So work within the timeline of the secondary school, but the absolute deadline, last possible time, is on February 15th, which is a Friday, and that's 1 week after the report cards are given out. Everything we do will go back to the Guidance Lead site as much as possible. Everything in here in your shared Guidance Lead folder, which for some of you is easy to navigate, that's great. Everything you need is in here, but what we add to the Guidance Lead folder, we also add to the Guidance Lead site. If we go back to this bit.ly link here, bit.ly/guidance lead, sorry about that. That is the quick link. If you're at home, you can enter in that short URL anywhere and you'll get to the Guidance Lead site. The shared folder is here, and across the top, everything that you need exists. Right now we're going to talk about grade 8 nights. Grade 8 nights have started already and are happening. I'm recording this on Wednesday, December 5th, and when we click grade 8 nights, it takes you to the website, the Thames Valley District School Board website, and lists the grade 8 nights right there. Communicate this as often as you can, and it's important that parents know when these are. This night becomes a very important piece of a student's choice for high school. Grade 7-8 math nights happened already in November, and if you scroll down here, I've shared the slide deck that Trish Shaloni and the math crew shared when they did the grade 8 math nights. This is a good resource for you because it'll answer some of your questions along the way. So as we go through this, the information for Trish Loney as the learning coordinator is here. Here's what they talked about. Each of these was a bullet item, and I'm going to go through this quickly. This is available to you under the Grade 8 Nights tab on the Guidance Lead site. So rather than bore you, I'll just kind of go through some of the main points. They showed everyone what they need, and you'll note you need 3 credits to graduate. The pathways locally developed, applied, and academic are actually non-linear. There are ways that you can move from one pathway to another, and these should be considered to be pathways more than they are levels. The academic math has 4 strands. The applied has 3, so you'll see that in a second, but there are 4 strands in the academic path. And the profile of the class, while it varies school to school and teacher to teacher, generally speaking, these are the students who find success in academic are working successfully at the grade 8 curriculum. They're able to solve abstract problems, and the pace of the lessons is often quicker in academic than other pathways, and the expectation of nightly homework often exists. Again, it varies, but generally speaking, this is what you can find in an academic class. The applied math course has 3 strands versus 4, and students who are successful in applied math are working at the grade 8 curriculum, but might benefit from more time consolidating key concepts and skills. And the student might benefit from learning through hands-on activities and concrete examples. Locally developed is just that. It's developed locally within our board, and for that reason, because it's not provincially developed, It is not a course for which a student is required to write the Math EQAO in grade 9. The strands are listed here, and this is everyday math for students who might be working below grade level, who have gaps, who are modified curriculum, or who might need to develop practical everyday life math skills. This chart really outlines, these are the 3 grade 9 courses across the top, and it does show you that there are ways of moving from one pathway to the next, and it isn't linear. It's really important for us to remember that, because sometimes, especially our parents, get in their head that if they don't have their student take one kind of math at the beginning, then they're not going to have the opportunity for certain career or post-secondary pathways. We need to remind them that it is possible to start in first semester with a grade 9 applied math, take grade 9 academic second semester, and that counts as 2 separate credits or courses to the high school diploma. They talked about what you can expect, the types of programs that are used, information about EQAO, where most of our schools count the EQAO math test, one written in January for first semester students, one written in June for second semester students. It counts 5 to 10% of their final grade for the course, and that varies school to school. That again is for academic and applied courses. There was a link during this session for parents and students to access information about EQAO, as well as a couple sample questions, the type of technology they will use in schools, and where to find help. We have a lot of parents who access tutors, and we want to make sure that they go through this triage approach. The math teacher is always the most useful. Often there's a math help room. We have lots of senior students who want to get volunteer hours or whose math skills are such that they want to help with a peer tutor program. We have a student success room. We have resource and special education teachers to work with students who are on an IEP. And this homework link also will take you to some resources for free online. TV Mathify is one example of online free tutoring. Here are other enrichment opportunities. High school Math Here I Come was very popular last year and is a good program for students if they have any anxiety or nervousness about math. And that was what they covered at the grade 8 or grade 7 and 8 parent nights for math in November. This is a slideshow you can share with both parents and students. And again, you can contact on slide 2 Trish Shaloni, who is our math learning coordinator, if you have any other questions. When we talk about tech emphasis as one of our specialty programs, every single school in Thames Valley is attached to one of the 6 schools listed here as technology emphasis schools. Our technology emphasis schools are Arthur Bowden, Clark Road, College Ave, Montcalm, Saunders, and Strathroy District Collegiate Institute. Tech emphasis schools provide transportation for students. So each student in our board has the ability to attend their home school and their tech emphasis school, and in some cases, they may be the same school. This is a list of the technology areas that are offered in Thames Valley District schools. And this is an example of the ways it is actually a multiple pathway approach. Sometimes we think that it's just a workplace pathway or an apprenticeship pathway that benefits from tech. And we have examples here that there are a lot of examples where we can also take tech courses. For example, courses that have an M and a 4 are university level courses that can be used toward the top 6 courses when applying to university. This is just one example. There are several tech courses for which this is the case. The deadline for applying to a tech emphasis school is the same as other registrations for grade 8s. Friday, February 15th, though you will contact the high school. If it's not your home school, you will contact the Tech Emphasis High School with a letter of intent, which you can get from them. They will email it to you, and the student will fill out the letter of intent along with course selection on my blueprint by February 15th, 2019. Here's a list of the contacts, which is the guidance head associated with each of the tech emphasis schools. This is a really good resource because we have tech in all of our high schools in Thames Valley, and this gives you an idea of what's offered where. So as you scroll down, this is 2 pages, that link you will find that the blue highlights the tech emphasis schools. But you can see there are a lot of schools for which there's a lot of tech offered. Tech emphasis schools are really well designed for students who like tech. And so that should be our first consideration when we're considering tech emphasis as one of the recommendations for a student. So you can see here what's offered and what's different. The one thing you will find is that at each of our tech emphasis schools there is a hospitality and tourism program. And that would come with a Red Seal chef as well as a baker. And as we end this, just a reminder, it's for all pathways, and the people who benefit from tech emphasis are students, or students who find success in tech emphasis are students who love tech. Next in the specialty programs is information on French immersion. Here you're just going to find links to the existing website and the parent brochure, which is also found on the Thames Valley website. And this is a contact list of the guidance heads at each of the high schools in Thames Valley that offer French immersion. Basil Davison, or B. Davison, located in London's eastern part of the city at Hamilton and Adelaide, is a program available for all Thames Valley students. And this slideshow takes you through who a B. Davison student might be, as well as what their program looks like. These are students who learn by doing, who are interested in going into the workforce, and would like to pursue a job or an apprenticeship after grade 12. This is an example of the areas: retail, food services, cosmetology, automotive, construction, horticulture, and welding. There's some overlap here with tech emphasis. So again, this is a school that is possibly for students who maybe take longer to complete their work, and for whom academics has not been a strength, who prefer speaking rather than writing, and who really feel like they need the people who are working with them to take the time to get to know them and understand their learning strengths and needs. Some of the students for whom B. Davison would suit will also be well suited in their home schools. B. Davison has taken an experiential learning focus to the school. In grade 9, they combine math, science, English, and geography, and they package those courses together and offer them all morning, where the students then take phys ed and 3 other choices in the afternoon. In grade 10, they do something similar where they bundle courses in the morning and then offer experiential learning job tasting placements in the afternoon. By grade 11, students have a full afternoon of pre-co-op, which helps them build skills and workplace opportunities in a day or week-long environment, and a day or week-long rather, and this is to get them ready for co-op in grade 12, assuming that just having them start co-op might not be the best without doing some building skills first. By grade 12, students at B. Davison are enrolling in full-time co-op and possibly the OYAP program, which is an Ontario Youth Apprenticeship Program. All courses offered at B. Davison are offered at the locally developed or workplace pathway level. Here are some key dates. Again, you have this available to you, so I won't go into detail, and the contact information exists there as well. Lastly, for our specialty programs, we have information regarding our ESL and ELD students. They're ELL students, English language learners with either ESL or ELD programming. This slideshow takes you through some background information to help you transition our English language learners successfully. There is a link here, and there are links on lots of the slides that help create a checklist for how we can make sure we're transitioning grade 8 to 9 possibly. And this is for the elementary ESL and ELD teachers who are going to work with the guidance lead teachers at each of our schools for whom English language learners attend. So what do you need to know about supporting English language learners? Is that there are step levels. So ESL has 6 step levels and ELD has 4 step levels. The difference between ESL and ELD is that ESL students have English as a second language, but have been schooled or are literate in another language. And English language development, ELD, are for students who have missed significant amounts of school and who are not fully literate in their first language. Students need to get through ELD steps if they do not have literacy in their first language before they can move into ESL. So we have 5 congregated ESL or ELD schools. They include Beale, Westminster, and Montcalm. These offer ELD and ESL programming. Huron Park and East Elgin. We have some schools in London that offer ESL only. So A, B, C, D, E, the more proficient you are in English, the lower the grades. So C and D are more proficient than A and B, for example. So schools that offer ESL C and D include Oakridge, Saunders, Medway, Lucas, Laurier, and Banting. And some of those schools did not have ESL this year and will be starting next year. You can click this link to see the recommended placement by step level. This link helps you know who the ESL and ELD teacher is and how they can help you. There is a sample slip now on the guidance lead site for an ELD and ESL programming, and we will have the ESL teacher at your school or the TOSA assigned to your school help you complete those slips. There's also the ELL toolkit, which is an English language learner's toolkit where you can find the schools and the teachers that are associated with each school, as well as here a list by name. So those are under the specialty programs, and I know I went by them quickly, but hopefully you know how to access them, and more importantly, you know who to contact. The exemplar slips are being posted here. We will continue to update these also for developmental education as well as students with an LD. The exemplar slip is here, an exemplar for an English language learner in ELD programming here, and the same for a student in ESL programming here. Getting the picture on the slip is something that we need to work on, but again, we will talk more about that after course selection. Until then, the 3 ways people are putting pictures in the slip include uploading the photos from the computer file given to your school by the photo company, and then selecting the grade 8s and sliding them into the slip. Some people are also taking pictures of the picture, so there's a hard copy of all of the pictures in your office, and they're taking a picture of each of the students, which sounds cumbersome, but it works. The 3rd way is to wait until grad photos are taken, ask the photo company for the grade 8s, upload them to your Google Drive, and slide them over. So that will separate the grade 8s only, which in some ways makes the sorting portion a little bit easier for you. And in a nutshell, that's everything. Hopefully you feel like you can contact us to ask us questions. And please note that we will be having, most importantly, we will be having our next meetings on January 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 14th, which will take you through my blueprint during course selection and how to approve plans, as well as reallow submission for students who make errors along the way. So please reserve that time and know that will be recorded as well, should you need to watch it later. Thank you very much for your time, and please contact if you have any questions.